Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'd like to share my impressions with you. I call this jealousy disguised as hate. If you've observed, it's likely you've rarely, if ever, found anyone, including yourself, to admit that they're jealous. But most will admit to it when they hate. Oftentimes, what one describes as hate is not really hate. It's jealousy. For instance, the enemy within Mark knows that he won't look within himself and say to himself, I am so jealous of John. So, Mark's enemy within will find a way of justifying, creating discord with John by convincing himself that what he has for John is hate instead of jealousy. The enemy within each of us can be heavily influenced by the media, religious groups, political groups, family, so-called friends, and so forth. And this influence can be so destructive that we become convinced that some person or group is the cause of all of our suffering or attempts to cause us suffering, such as rival gangs, different ethnicities, and different nationalities. If one doesn't gain control over the enemy within, eventually such destructive impressions will manifest as hate. Jealousy is different, though. Many accept that hate is, or at least can be, justifiable. But many accept that jealousy is wrong and unjustifiable. Brothers and sisters, this difference between hate and jealousy is at the core of what I am attempting to impress upon you. It will be magnified. Jealousy is the most cunning of all of our destructive principles because it allows one to attempt to harm another without the jealous person being fully aware that jealousy, is the real reason for wanting to harm the other person. For instance, Sarah exaggerates and fabricates lies to convince her clique that she hates Jill so that she can justify causing harm to Jill. The real reason Sarah wants to cause harm to Jill is because she can't stand the fact that Jill gets more attention from the young men in school than she does. Hence, her jealousy of Jill, not actually hate for Jill. Now, both jealousy and hate are so destructive that interchanging them is understandable. Yet, I am impressed that it is necessary to distinguish them, so here is more food for thought. As alluded to earlier, hate usually festers as the enemy within convinces us that someone else is wrong. This gives the enemy within justification to cause harm to the object of what we've been deceived into thinking is hate. But in the case of Sarah and Jill, if people know that Sarah is actually jealous of Jill, instead of having hate for Jill, they know that Sarah is in the wrong, not Jill. Because when jealousy is identified, the aggressor is accepted as wrong instead of the object of jealousy being accepted as wrong. The enemy within must keep the real principle, which is jealousy, concealed, or else Sarah will be exposed and her attempt to harm Jill made more difficult. If you tell your friends that you are jealous of another person, assuming your friends are rational, they will not find fault in that person. But if you tell your friends that you hate another person, because hate is often justified, your friends may tolerate or even condone your hate for that person. Once the enemy within knows that your friends tolerate or even condone your hate, the enemy within becomes more emboldened. Brothers and sisters, when this happens, someone is going to get hurt. I trust these points resonate. If we can arrest enough control of our enemy within to allow us to be honest with ourselves, thereby acknowledging that we are jealous of someone else, what an enormous opportunity we create to prevent jealousy from totally consuming us and thereby causing us to harm another. I compel you to accept that bullying is an enormously destructive manifestation of jealousy as well. Once we are able to arrest such control, we clear the path and give rise to our higher nature to control and direct our thoughts, expressions, and actions via care, intelligence, unity, and other vital life principles. Brothers and sisters, we haven't a moment to waste. Let's get busy today. Today. I trust I have been clear and concise and that you have found my impressions worthwhile. Thank you for your time and consideration. Love and harmony, Brother Osiris.